Hello, I am Mike Hills, alias NBodger, who welcomes you to HILLSDEN, a small fictional town on the Calder Valley line in the West Riding of Yorkshire. Now, the layout of HILLSDEN is some 11 foot 6 by 4 foot and resides in a 6 foot by 4 foot garden shed in the garden of number 2 Sunnybank, HILLSDEN, the home of the Bodgers. Welcome to the home of Mr. and Mrs. NBodger and their Springer Spaniel Mabel. That's the house on the left with the blue door. Looks like Mrs. N is busy cleaning the doorstep and their faithful Morris 1000 stands outside awaiting her next adventure. Do you want to take a look in the shed? Then let's head into the garden. Here we are in the garden. Mrs. N is very proud of her flower borders, although they do sometimes encroach on Bodger's lawn. Mind you, his lawnmower soon sorts that out. The shed is at the end of the garden. That's the one with the mono-pitch roof. Shall we take a look inside? The first passenger train arrives into platform 1. This is the 0645 from Rishworth, formed of one of those new DMUs, a Class 108. The engineer's ballast train returns from an overnight possession, hauled by a British Rail Sulzer Type 2. The first coal train of the day passes through HILLSDEN en route to Lancashire via Mythenroyd Yard, hauled today by one of HILLSDEN's own 7Fs, nicknamed Austin Sevens. The Calder Valley line is a main goods route between Yorkshire and Lancashire, with coal being the predominant commodity. The next train westbound is the York to Liverpool Exchange via Normanton service. This train does not stop at HILLSDEN, hauled today by a V2 Green Arrow no less, a rare sighting through HILLSDEN. The V2 will only haul the train as far as Todmorden, where a Hughes Fowler Crab will take over. All the loaded coal wagons that head to Lancashire have to return to the Yorkshire coalfield for refilling. Here, a G2A hauls the empties eastbound through HILLSDEN. Now heading westbound is the stopping service from Leeds to Manchester Victoria, usually hauled by a 4MT tank locomotive, however today hauled by a 2P. She will soon be stopping in platform 2. After a brief halt for passengers to leave or join, she finally departs HILLSDEN for Manchester. We are now back at platform 1 as the Class 108 DMU departs for Huddersfield. A Hughes Fowler Crab hauls the Liverpool Exchange to Bradford and Leeds Express. Another Class 108 DMU approaches HILLSDEN from the west, with a stopping at all stations from Todmorden. This train terminates here in platform 4. Another Manchester Victoria bound train, this time from Bradford, hauled unusually by a 4F. They must be having availability issues with the locomotives today. HILLSDEN does have a daily London service. Here, A2 Bachelor's Button hauls the King's Cross bound train from Bradford. She will shortly be stopping in platform 3. Finally, she departs for London's King's Cross via Wakefield, Kirkgate and Pontefract to join the East Coast Main Line at Doncaster. Another coal train heads westbound for Lancashire, this time hauled by a WD. The Bradford portion of the South Yorkshireman, hauled by B1 Oliver Bury, passes through HILLSDEN en route for London Marylebone. The B1 will haul the train as far as Sheffield Victoria, where the train will be enlarged with addition of more coaching stock and will continue along the Great Central, hauled probably by a A3 to London Marylebone. A parcels train from Leeds heads towards Manchester, hauled by a J39. A passenger train hauled by a Black 5 comes to a halt in platform 3. This is a stopping service from Liverpool Exchange to Bradford and Leeds via Halifax. Robinson designed J11, nicknamed Pom Pom, heads west with a local mixed goods train. Class 4MT Fairburn Tank hauls the Manchester Victoria to Leeds service. She will soon come to a halt in platform 3. She finally departs for Leeds. The daily oil train returns to Stanlow Refinery in Cheshire, hauled by a 9F. She had headed from Stanlow to Leeds earlier in the day. Ivert 2NT, nicknamed Mickey Mouse, heads east with a fitted local goods train. The ex-London and North Western Railway route across the Pennines via Huddersfield must have a problem, as a Liverpool Lime Street bound train from Newcastle has been diverted via the Calder Valley. Here she is, hauled by an English Electric Type 4. The A4 Pacifics have been replaced by the new Deltics on the East Coast Main Line. So these mainline express locomotives have been demoted to lesser, although important tasks, as Silver Fox is seen here hauling an express fitted goods of covered vans across the Pennines. The young train spotters were excited to cop an A4 through the Calder Valley. The Poole to Bradford train, hauled by a peak, traverses the main line through HILLSDEN, heading to Bradford via Halifax. The majority of the coaches are bullades in southern green. Now, the young train spotters at the end of platform 3 got a very big surprise, as the blue Pullman runs through HILLSDEN. Must have been on a chartered special. Nevertheless, it was a very rare sight indeed along the valley. Sorry folks, but that is all we have time for today. Hope you have enjoyed your visit to Bodger's fictional world of HILLSDEN. Hopefully see you again soon.